Hard to have mates if you're a Mongol.
Jason Paul Gasterov has become just the second bikie to be hit with an anti-consorting notice. This is the order that bans you from contacting in any way a set list of other bikies. If you do so, you're in strife. If you do it twice, you're inside for 5 years with very few questions asked. We don't know the full list of the people Jason is banned from seeing, but we know one of them is this guy. Troy McCanty was the first bikie to be hit with an anti-consorting notice, and we do know who he is banned from seeing. Gasterov is one of 31 people with whom Troy cannot associate.
So why are the cops going after Gasterov?
Because he's one of the Ron Burgundys of WA's underworld.
I'm kind of a big deal.
The police use these anti-consorting notices sparingly because even by Chinese standards, they are pretty draconian. It's banning someone from seeing someone else not because they're doing something illegal together, but because they might be thinking about doing something illegal.
The fact that you prevent it from happening doesn't change the fact that it was going to happen.
They're different to the dispersal notices which ban a bikie from seeing a particular person for a week. The cops hand those out like confetti.
Troy McCanty, this is a dispersal notice, DN number 005904.
The man talking there is not a dentist. We aren't showing his face because he is a member of the Gang Crime Squad. Gang Crime will now be making sure Jason doesn't use code to get word to his fellow outlaws. They hope that by isolating him with the anti-consorting orders, he won't be able to get up to mischief.
What's his background?
Well, like Troy, who was a coffin cheater and then a fink before he became a Mongol, Jason was a bit late to the Mongol party. Up until mid-2020, he was a rebel. He was president of the gang's Rockingham chapter, which trades under the not at all bogan title of Rock City.
You stay classy, San Diego.
It was as a rebel that Jason first got himself into serious trouble when he, Rock City Vice President Paul Marsandi, and Rebels nominee Christopher Mark Allen bashed Port Kennedy man Christopher Yarra.
Why the biffo?
They were arguing over a car.
Problem with my Gogomobile. G-O-G-G-O.
Jason was jailed in 2017. In mid-2018, his home in Rand Avenue, Waikiki, was peppered with bullets. I don't know if he was out of jail at the time, I think he was. Here's where it gets a bit 6 degrees of bikie separation. The cops thought that drive-by shooting was the work of the Comancheros. A day after the front wall of Gasterov's house was shot up, undercover cops saw 2 very senior commos having coffee together.
Where do senior members of the Comancheros get their coffee?
Hell Freak Cafe in Coburn. Where else? The 2 Comancheros who were sipping Long Macs topped up with activated almond milk were Ray Chili and Stephen Burke. In June 2020, Burke shot his girlfriend before turning the gun on himself. She survived, he did not. Chili is currently living in exile in Thailand, where he was allegedly targeted by the assassin who killed Nick Martin. Said assassin allegedly being hired by David Pye, who was a rebel under Nick Martin and alongside Jason Gasterov before he briefly became a Comanchero on the path to patching up as a Mongol.
What's Gasterov going to do now? He can't consort.
Well, fortunately, he has a skill set to fall back on. This is Jason in 1997 on page 44 of the West Australian newspaper. He was 22 back then and had just graduated from a Sport and Recreation General Service and Maintenance Stream traineeship.
Meaning?
It means he's a qualified greenkeeper.
Not the only one to cut the grass.
You mean McGowan's snubbing of the Lord Mayor?
Mm-hmm.
Basil was conspicuously MIA from a major announcement about the location for a proposed Aboriginal cultural centre between the concert hall and the river.
That's state government land. This is state and Commonwealth government money. It's just par for the course.
Labor has convinced itself that Baz is going to run for the Libs in state parliament, and McGowan doesn't want any of his popularity to rub off on someone who is a political rival, because people have tried to do that before. Roger Cook weighed in today, says there's no rift, and Baz, for the record, says he isn't thinking about running anyway.
You expect me to believe that?
If he isn't thinking about running, he is wrong-footing every political commentator in Australia, including this one. But if it happens, it won't be for a while, because Baz knows dear leader isn't going anywhere soon.
Yeah, well, maybe you can go work for him when you get sacked.
Think you're some sort of a big shot here?
You know my political allegiance lies elsewhere.
The United Australian Party.
The Libs clearly need a circuit breaker. David Honey is actually taking out paid advertisements to remind everyone he exists. Basil wouldn't be the first Lord Mayor of the city to move up the food chain either. Campbell Newman did it in Queensland, and under his leadership, the Liberal National Party won 78 out of 89 seats. That's a McGowan spec landslide.
Only way is up for the Libs.
Yeah, it's a party that looks like it's been hit with its own anti-consorting notice.
This is exhausting, you know? Like, we're never getting back together. Like, ever.
I'm Ben Harvey. For more Up Late, click the subscribe button below.